Welcome to Gallop TV Preview Show for racing at the Vaal, and we race at the Vaal Classic Track on Tuesday the 8th of November 2022. It is the race meeting for the work riders and a 50,000 Rand work riders challenge. So hopefully the best work rider on the day comes through to win, and it will be a special well done to all those that are taking part in this meeting, and hopefully they have lots of fun and quite a few of them ride a few winners. Now into race number 1 on the program. Race number 1, 12:30 is the time you need to get those bets on. It is a maiden plate for the fillies and mares over 1,000 meters, and there's a clear standout here in the form of number 13, War Empress. Now she's a horse that did find quite a bit of support on debut. She opened up at around 11-2 in the market. She shortened right down into 2-1, 18-10, but come race time she did drift out in the market out to 11-2. But she ran an absolute cracker behind a time to Flower, who had the racecourse experience under the belt, and that possibly just told over the final stages of the race. Now she does look to be a hard horse to oppose, just based on what she does take on. It is a shallow maiden lineup, and Waiton van Staden, he should be in the winner's enclosure with this Ashley Fortune runner, War Empress, 3-year-old daughter of Vercingetorix. She's been priced up at 4-10 in the market, and she looks to be the horse that they all have to beat, and one that I think you should get off your day to a flying start with number 13, War Empress. From the first timers, number 11, Pray Upon a Star, at around 5-1 in the market. Corey Lensley's runner. The Dam did win over sprinting trips, winning over 1,000 meters, winning over 1,200, along with a win over 1,400. So Pray Upon a Star could show a bit of pace, and that horse is in single figures at around 5-1. And then horse number 9, Kabuko Mo, 3-year-old daughter of Royal Mo. Just watch if there is any further support for this individual. But for all intents and purposes, number 13, War Empress, should take a power beating in race number 1. Now we'll move along to race number 2 on the program. This is the maiden plate of the 1,000 meter trip, and you need to get those place accumulator bets on by 1 on the afternoon. Inventrix has been priced up as your favorite, returning off a 126 day layoff rather, and she's horsed at around 11-10 in the market. Fani Broncos, Joe Guinguiza team up here. She's got a plum draw up the lane on the Vaal Classic Track. She ran behind Mrs. Browning last time out. Prior to that, behind Flower Bomb, and we saw Flower Bomb run an absolute crack in the Gardenia Stakes just over the weekend. So Inventrix, if she just doesn't need the outing, she should be the one that they all have to beat. But with racing fitness on her side, I'm going to go with number 7, Mandalay. Now last time out, Mandalay ran an absolute cracker in a work riders meeting as well. Work riders race with Tapiso Maswele aboard. Now Pilasande Mongawa gets aboard, and he rides for the first time for Shayla Naidu here. And this horse, Mandalay, could give a good account of herself. As I mentioned, she's got the racing fitness on her side, and at around 5-2 in the market, she could just be the right horse in the race, and a horse that I think you could possibly take a chance as a place accumulator and banker. So numbers 7 and 9 in that order, 7 to beat 9. But if number 9 is fit and ready, she should surely be the one that they all have to beat. Now we'll move along to race number 3 on the program. 13:45 is the time you need to get those bets on for the pick 6. Favorite is number 1, Corvette Captain. And Corvette Captain, we could say he is a winner without a penalty, because he's just gone up 1 point, which is half a kg for winning last time out, and he won a classified stakes. He takes his part in a classified stakes once again. Vaal Classic Track this time around. Confidence is on his side. 60 kgs on the back. He loves the distance. He has no issues with the course and distance. He's a winner over the course and distance. His rest plus 1 stats are good. And Corvette Captain, I think that he's going to run an absolute cracker here. He's probably a worthy favorite here at 14-10 in the lineup, and he will go close. A horse by the name of After Hours, he won a nice race last time out with Ryan Munger aboard. He's gone up 5 points for that victory when he beat a sort that is highly regarded from the Joey Soma yard in the form of Rule by Force. And he's on a mark of 59 now. He's drawn in gate number 3, 54 kgs on the back. He's a horse that can go well once again. And then horse number 3, Integrate. I think this horse here is just one more that you have to include into the pick 6. 33-10 in the market. And this horse, Joey Soma, is the trainer. He's suited to the distance. 1 run over course and distance for a third. And S. Sipika takes a ride aboard this individual. Was beaten behind KALAHARI Blue last time out. and he could just bounce back to winning ways in this lineup. So numbers 1, 3 and 9, I think 1, 3 and 8 rather, I think that those three numbers should be enough for the pick 6, and you should be able to come through, and I think they should run first, second and third, if not first and second for sure. Now we'll move along to race number 4 on the program. 20 past 2 is the time you need to get those bets on. This race is going to be run over the 2,400 meter trip, and we have the shortest price favorite on the day. That's Prime Example at 25 to 100. Now, some may argue, is he really a 25 to 100 shot? Well, based on the field that he meets, I think he is, because he meets horses that are out of form. They are out of form, and horses that really need to pick up their feet if they are to have any chance of winning here. Now this horse, Prime Example, he's run 2 seconds in his career. He ran a second behind the Inkosana, 3 runs back over 1800 meters. Then he ran second last time out behind Otto Lucan over 1800 meters. So the 1800 meter trip does seem to be his game, and he goes over 2400 meters for the very first time. So the question mark has always got to be, will he stay the trip? I think he'll see the trip out. I don't think Ashley Fortune would throw him into the race if she had any concerns about his stamina. And he gets the services of Sam Musia, well accomplished work rider, and he'll know exactly what to do with a Prime Example. And he should be a tough nut to crack in this lineup. This horse, Harold the Duke, now he's got a plum draw. He returns off a rest and Gelding. And if we go a few runs back in his career, he ran second behind Kispa Fire over 2,600 meters. So there's no stamina doubts with number 1, Harold the Duke. And if he's fit and ready after Gelding, I think he could just give a good account of himself. Just having a look at the fixed odds betting market here for Harold the Duke at around 8 to 1 in the market. So he's a horse that could possibly be the exacta play. If the favorite were to fluff his lines, I think Harold the Duke could bounce back to some of his better form, especially after being gelded now. He could just have his mind on the job, and he could run well for the Diane Stenger yard. So numbers 4 to beat 1 for me, but if number 4 doesn't pitch up, I think number 1, Harold the Duke, could be the one that picks up the pieces. Now we'll move along to race number 5. Ponderosa Pine, your 14 to 10 favorite in the lineup. 5 to 2 about Sassy, and then it's 6 to 1 about the balance of the runners. Now I like a horse here in the form of Broadlands. 6 to 1 in the market. Joe Gwingwiza rides for Sean Terry. This horse ran 5th on debut, beaten just over 6.5 lengths over 1600 meters. She goes over 1700 meters now. She gets Joe Gwingwiza. She's drawn in gate number 5, and I just feel that Sean Terry would have ran her last time out with this type of race in mind, and I think that this horse could run an absolute cracker. She's going to be the value play in the race for me. And at 6 to 1, I don't think that you can get hurt with a punt on the head with this 3-year-old daughter of Silvano. I think that she'll absolutely love the trip. And with that run underneath the belt, she's going to come on tons. And she wasn't drawn well on debut. 10 out of 12. She's now got a much better draw of gate number 5. And I think that she'll be making late inroads into the field, and she should run an absolute cracker here at 6 to 1. Now the favorite, Ponderosa Pine, last time out did run second behind Karen's Legacy, and a horse that is dropping in trip but is having a third run after rest, so we'll strip a much fitter individual for the outing. Chamu Mabaya gets a ride, and then the second favorite in the market is Sassy, but Sassy is well exposed in the maiden rank. 16 starts for 2 seconds and 2 thirds, so she's vulnerable, and I think Broadlands along with Ponderosa Pine should have a number, but the value in the race is no doubt horse number 8, Broadlands. That's it for race number 5. Now I'm going to move along to race number 6 on the program. 1700 meters the distance. Sean Terry saddles the favorite here. He's teaming up with Joe Gwingwiza once again. 11 to 10 in the market about Future Pearl, who's a runner that did have his first run after rest last time out when beaten behind King of Rome. And he was given every chance on that occasion. He's got a plum draw, which is going to be in his favor. Second run after rest, he's going to strip a much fitter individual, returning 26 days later. And I think that Future Pearl, he will certainly give a good account of himself. But the top choice for me is going to be number 4, Breakpoint. Now this runner on debut at 16 to 1 in the market, he ran behind Without Equal. Then next time out, he just found nothing. I think put a line right through that run. He was fancied to get the job done and fancied to win quite convincingly, but he was beaten behind Never Too Clever. Then last time out, David Nieuwenhuizen, he threw him into the deep end. He ran him in the Bloodstock sales race at Turffontein on the inside track over 1450, beaten behind Unzen. Now from that form line, Tamara's Tree has come through to win, and Tamara's Tree has won a nice race. And I just feel Breakpoint back against weaker company, drawn in gate number 4. Sam Mosia aboard. He will strip a fitter individual, having his second run after rest. And I think that he's a horse that they all have to beat. 28 to 10. That does look to be a generous price as opposed to the 11 to 10 about Future Pulse. So I'll go with the 4 to beat 3 in race number 6 on the program. And I think those two horses should be good enough for the pick sixes. And especially for those exactors, I think they could run first 1 and 2. Now moving along to race number 7 on the program, Robert Burns is your favourite here, 16 to 10 in the market about the Brett Crawford inmate. Chamu Mabaya gets a ride for Brett Crawford. We all know that James Crawford, that's Brett's son, he heads the yard over in the Highveld. And this horse, Robert Burns, he comes over from the Cape. He returns off a 72-day layoff. And if we just have a look at his form, he does have some fair form, beaten behind the likes of Fair Advantage and even a second behind Kupuzna. And I think a run like that could see him being very, very competitive here. He ran behind Triple Time last time out in a maiden, but he just didn't find anything on that occasion, and he ran tailed off in last position. But returning off rest, I'm sure that they would have done a bit of work back at home with him. I think they'll have him in a good spot and ready to rock and roll for this run, and he should run well. Number 3, Bono Creek, is a runner that has to be included into the mix from the Mike de Kock yard. Ran an absolute cracker last time out behind Global Approach. That was over 1450. 1450 once again. A Fenny gets the ride. Drawn in gate number 6. Could certainly give a good account of himself once again. And then of the first timers, maybe just keep a close eye on if there is any market support for these first timers, or on the race day if there is any race comments, any positive comments regarding one of those first timers, because number 8, Kenny Mambo, has been priced up at around 10 to 1 in the market, and then number 9 is a scratching, so do take note of that. So number 9 is a scratching, and the 8 horse is the only first timer in the lineup here. So race number 7, it does look to be a tricky race, I'd say, because if Robert Burns isn't fit enough to do himself justice, then he could well be vulnerable, and horses like Bono Creek could pick up the pieces. The Mopalai could be one to include into the mix as well. What You Say is another horse that could get into the mix. So it all seems to point the way of Robert Burns being fit and ready to for the outing. But if he isn't, then a couple of horses have to be included into the mix. So in terms of the pick 6, I think include a few horses, and if the favorite does come through to win, then you get through. But you could also get an unfancied horse coming through to win here. Now we'll move along to race number 8, the final race on the program. 1450 meters the distance. Get those bets on by 4:25 for the final race. Your favorite in the lineup is National Star. Now the fitness is going to be a huge question mark here. 142 days since that last start, which was on the 19th of June. Turffontein inside track, 13 to 10 in the market, well beaten behind Ipso Facto, 5.5 lengths. She's been a horse that should have shed that maiden tag by now, but she's still in the maidens, 3 seconds, 2/3 and 2/4. In this type of field, she should have every opportunity to get the maiden out the way. Joe Guinguiza, Sean Tarry, they seem to have a few nice rides on the day together, so it could be a combination to keep a very close eye on. Drawn in gate number 5, and National Star is the favourite here at 9 to 2. Alice May. Now I know that the yard expected a much better performance on debut than what she produced when beaten behind Asia Pambili. She was beaten 8 and 1 part of a length, beaten into 9th position. She ran 9th of all 9 runners there. But Alice May, I think that you could expect a much better performance from her. Yeah. Plum Draw, Chamu Mabaya aboard, and then around 9 to 2 in the market. Include this one, Queen Theodora, 8 to 1 in the market. She's a runner that returns off rest, but has to seriously improve on her last 2 starts to date. and is drawn in gate number 6. So we'll see how Queen Theodora goes. But does look to be a 2-horse race between numbers 4, National Star, and number 9, Alice May. It's not easy to go with this individual based on her first performance, but I think that they're going to expect a massive performance from her come Tuesday. Plum draw, Chamu Mabaya aboard, and she could just be the value in the race at around 9-2 in the market. Well, that's it for the 8 races at the Vaal Classic Track Tuesday, the 8th of November. Hopefully it can be a profitable day's racing for you, and hopefully you in the winner's queue after race number 8.